Welcome to Terrain Tries Tinkering. I'm Nick.
I'm Billy.
And this is something new we're going to try. We're just going to talk about some of the off-road adventures, camping adventures that we've been on together. This is a new thing. Well, actually, this whole channel is a very new thing, so we'll see how this goes. This recent one was on a local off-road trail that we like to do maybe a couple times a year. It's a good spot to camp out in the mountains. And this time was a little bit more eventful than most. We had a catastrophic failure on the way back down, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Yeah, on our way up, everything went great. It was a nice sunny day. Got ourselves a great camping spot. I set up my rooftop tent. Billy set up his off-road trailer for sleeping in. And then his brother was relegated to sleeping on the ground with his dog Duncan, which actually was fine, but I think he was a little jealous. But this is our camp setup. Pretty great view, nice little alpine lake. Billy's brother even caught a few trout. We cooked one up and ate it for breakfast. That was great. Had to make the normal camping coffee in the morning. That was nice. And then once we had made breakfast, tried a little more fishing, we started to head down. Made it probably 3/4 of the way down. Absolutely no issues, smooth sailing. And then all of a sudden, in front of me, Billy stops, gets out of his Jeep. Why don't you tell me about that?
Yeah. I was driving down my trailer. I know, so I'm just pulling it every once in a while. It gets a little bit of bouncy air from us being off road and everything. And yeah, we were driving, and I heard something hit it that sounded like a chunk of metal. And so I immediately stopped, and I kind of looked at my brother, and I was like, okay, that was a big chunk of metal. That was either something that was on the ground flying up from a tire, or part of my trailer broke off. And then I immediately said to my brother, I was like, it's probably part of my trailer. So immediately we stopped, we looked back, and then boom, we saw the culprit, that the leaf spring snapped off, almost perfect. One thing that we did notice on it when we looked on the inside part of it that did snap, that it was already apparently cracked because it was already rust built inside of it, like on over half of the inside of it was rust. So we already looked at it and said, okay, it was already cracked, we think. So yeah, once we looked at the situation, we just had to start brainstorming, really, of what to do.
Pretty lucky that we made it that far, to be honest with you. Looking at the thing, like, we're literally like stress crack, rusted halfway through. Really lucky it happened when we were most of the way down. But yeah, like, I guess after you got out and I got out and we were looking at it, realized what happened, we just knew, well, we have to get out of here somehow. And it's a single track trail, so keep in mind this whole time we're blocking the entire trail. Luckily no one...
Yeah, luckily there wasn't anyone that went by.
Yeah. And then the biggest thing was the trailer was leaning down to one side because there was no suspension on the right side of the trailer. And I know I had seen this before, and you had said you'd seen it before.
Yep.
I can't remember where, honestly, but definitely had seen someone stick a log into their leaf spring when it broke. So that's what we thought would give it a shot. I mean, we had tools to fix problems, but had made the fatal mistake of having no replacement parts. But I mean, who thinks their leaf spring's going to snap in half?
For a full leaf spring.
Yeah.
So it's...
You started by jacking up your trailer.
Yes.
And then while you were doing that, I went out and found a log that looked like it would fit. Ended up finding one that was way too long, but longer is better than too short, so pulled it alongside.
able to cut it the right length.
And then jammed it in there and had to secure it in place. Used every single ratchet strap we had available. I had some, you had some.
Once we got back to the shop, a lot of them didn't make it. We just had to throw them away.
Yeah, but once we got that secure, I mean, you got to give it the good old, that ain't going anywhere, but, you know, you never know. Your brother wasn't too confident?
No. He's not really that much of a car guy also, so he...
Yeah, but to be honest, I was more hopeful than confident. Yeah, and then we got that in there. We aired down the tires a bit more to make sure there was less bouncing. Because the trailer has springs but has no shocks, so it really bounces over obstacles. And she went real slow, like maybe 2-3 miles an hour, sometimes slower over more obstacles, over bigger rocks. And I just followed close, keeping an eye on it. Yeah, we made it down, double checked it, got under there, tightened up the ratchet straps a little bit more. They had loosened up a little bit, or it settled a little bit as we were driving. And we had about 100 miles to get home, so we were still a little worried, even though I'd made it the 3 or 4 miles off the trail. But once we got on the road, handled it like a champ. Like, wasn't worried at all. Honestly, the off-road was way sketchier because of the trailer bouncing all over the place. Even at barely a crawl, it was bouncing like crazy. I followed you close behind, keeping an eye on it the whole way. Luckily, had no problems whatsoever. And then when you got it back, it was up to you to fix it. Why don't you talk about that?
Once I got it back, I have a shop with a full car lift in it, so I just put the trailer on that and took off the tires. Yeah, the leaf spring was definitely cut in half. It was non-reusable. So yeah, we basically started getting to work, took off that leaf spring, and even actually took off the one on the other side. So we took off the all the straps and the log that we had on that leaf spring. And as on the pictures, it was completely gone. So we got started about placing an order to buy a new leaf spring. And the other side leaf spring is basically the same age. We bought it exactly the same time as that leaf spring. So we just said, might as well just replace both to be safe, and it just makes sense. We went to the same place that I bought the other leaf springs. It is down south near SeaTac Airport. And we replaced them with both of the exact same leaf springs, the exact same part number, everything. But just the only thing is the ones we put on are brand new versus 6 years old of abusing it, of off-road. Basically, I kind of stopped. It's kind of like every 5 years replace them for safety standpoints, really, for safety.
Yeah, I don't want to get stranded again, that's for sure. Especially when we're in Moab in the desert when there's no logs.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but luckily everything turned out good this time.
And we still have one of the leaf springs as our backup now. So now we're probably going to start bringing that with us on our trails.
Even though it's a used part and probably doesn't have much life left, given the abuse you've done to it. But it's an easy trail fix. I mean, I think it's one of the biggest mistakes that we've always made is we have the tools, but you lose a critical part, you're screwed.
Yeah.
We are Terrain Tries Tinkering. If you like this, please like and subscribe. That helps us out a lot. And please let us know if you want to see more off-road adventure stories like this. Thanks for watching.